here because you have been interested in the greatest Magic format to exist, Modern. But you see, the issue of Modern is that it's one of the most expensive formats to play competitively. And even if you're trying to play casually with, I don't know, cheap $100 decks, $100, some people are just that broke they can't afford that. But that's why I'm here, because I'm going to show you a deck tech that's lower than $100, lower than $50. So before we get into the deck tech, I'd like to mention this deck is pretty casual, and you're not going to win a Pro Tour with it. No, you're not going to win anything competitive, but maybe a Friday Night Magic. If you're really good enough with this deck, you could probably win a Friday Night Magic. I would also like to say this deck is based off of another deck made by Giant Monster Games. I'll link that in the description. Now let's really get into it. This is the Goblin deck. It plans on killing your opponents as fast as possible by creating a bunch of tokens and then buffing them up with whackers. We'll be running 4 Foundry Street Denizen because, it gets bigger the more goblins we play. It just gets +1/+0 for every goblin that enters the battlefield, which is great. And because we're going to be running because we're going to be, creating tons of tokens, we might create, 3 tokens per turn, let's say. That's +3/+0, it's like a 4/1. That's crazy for such value, you know what I mean? Next, we're going to be running 4 Goblin Pile Driver. It gets +2/+0 for each other attacking goblin, which is great because we're going to have tons of attacking goblins because we're going to be creating millions of tokens. So, +2/+0, it'll get +2/+0 for each other attacking goblin. And that's going to be a lot. That is going to be a lot of bonuses. A 6 damage goblin or something. I'm not sure. Maybe even more. We're going to be running also 1 Skirk Prospector. Just 1 because I had some extra space in the deck. But it's, it's useful in some, ways. You can deal those last points of damage you need to kill your opponents. Just sacrifice the Skirk Prospector and any other goblin around. And you can deal some extra points of damage. It's very simple. Next, let's talk about our whackers. So we're going to be running 4 Goblin Bushwhacker, 4 Battlecry Goblin, and 4 Reckless Bushwhacker. They all do the same thing. They all give our goblins +1/+0 bonuses, except Battlecry Goblin is a little bit more expensive. And its whacking ability isn't when it enters the battlefield. It's like an actual activated ability you need to activate. So you can always activate this more than once. Also, it creates a goblin that's attacking whenever you attack, so that's great. And then we're going to be running 4 Renvel Hordemaster because it's a 2-mana lord that replaces our goblins when they die. It's practically just like a Bushwhacker, except it trades in the ability of haste for replacing your goblins when they die, and just a bonus to defense, which is great. Next, we're going to run 4 Dragon Fodder. It creates 2 1/1 goblin creature tokens. I think, you just play these, whack them, and then win the game. Easy. Hordling Outburst does the same thing, except it creates 3 instead of 2. And it's 1 extra mana. We're going to be running 4 Lightning Bolt. It's just great removal. It can help us deal the final points of damage we need to win this game. Just 4 Lightning Bolt, just remove anything on the battlefield practically. 3 health, they're dead. And then finally, we're going to be running 4 Goblin Grenade. This is the card that'll really, win games for you. Because it's 1 mana, it's a sorcery. You have to sacrifice a goblin as an additional cost, and it deals 5 damage. And because we're going to have so many goblins to dispose, this is an insane burn spell for our deck. So, maybe if you have 4 of these in your hand, you could just kill your opponent that way, but that's inefficient. I don't think that'll ever happen. Still, it's great for dealing, last 5 points of damage you need. And to end it off, we're just going to be running everything else. And then for mana base, we're just going to be running, mountains. It's pretty simple. We don't need anything too advanced, just mountains. Remember to like and subscribe, because if you do, Magic Gods will grant you amazing draws the next game you play. And also, if we get this video to 50 likes, I'll make an upgrade guide for this deck. Bye.